Sometimes it's good to just dance.
Welcome to the Good Stuff Family Podcast. I'm Dawn Kendrick, and I am so glad you're here. These are stories from the perspective of a news reporter on a next level assignment. Everyone has a story. Stories of hope, resilience, and how we believe God weaves people, relationships, opportunities, all of it for good. For many of us, faith leads our steps, others not so much. But that is what makes this growing Good Stuff family great. We know the journey is better together. Welcome to the family.
Got a suggestion. Sometimes it's good to just dance. Come along.
Good morning, December 20th. It's a Friday. That means that we are all gathered again around the virtual gratitude table to share the stories that uplifted and encouraged our hearts this week and the things that we're looking forward to. And we're glad you're with us. We're glad you're with us. If you would, be sure and comment as well so that this is interactive. Looking forward to hearing some of your family Christmas stories today and the things that you're grateful for. And for starters, as always, I'm so grateful for my godsend friend. That is not an understatement. Rich Smith. Good morning.
Good morning, Don. Good morning, Good Stuff family. And you know what it means? December 20th is only 4 sleeps till Christmas.
4 sleeps. That's how my dad used to always say when I would be lived in Cleveland. He'd say 4 more sleeps before you come home, or how. That's so great. Yeah, 4 more sleeps. I love that. How many other people listening had parents that said that? That's so great. 4 more sleeps and however many wake ups. It was the best, counting down. So it is. I imagine you, of all people, Rich, keep the childhood wonder in Christmas, you and your family. I can tell by some of these pictures you sent in. Let's show a couple of them right now, can we?
Sure, yeah. We'll start with this one because this is the whole reason behind this last trip. We just got back Tuesday evening, but we got married 24 years ago on December the 16th at St. Rocco's Church in Cleveland. And it's the church that I grew up in, and they were supposed to be completely decorated for Christmas by that point in time, but they were behind that year. So that's why they zoomed in on the tabernacle shot, because they had the bare trees that weren't decorated yet in the background. It was so off planned, and Christy and I were so upset that the trees weren't decorated, because that was the whole reason why we got married in December, was we wanted the Christmas wedding and the Winter Wonderland reception. But I just remember the tree, like there's these bare trees, these 25-foot trees, and on both sides of us that they zoomed in on, so that they wouldn't be in the picture. But then here we are, 24 years later, seeing the big guy down in Orlando. We took a trip down, did an impromptu trip to Universal and Disney to kind of celebrate almost that quarter century mark. And we were talking to Santa, and he went off about North Olmsted and the weather up there, and Ashtabula. He was telling us all about his travels through Ohio. And then, of course, no Disney trip is complete without a magic shot, and we got the Muppet Christmas Carol.
I
Was one of
love
our
it.
favorites.
Is that Gonzo on the left? He's my favorite. Is that Gonzo?
No, I can't remember what his name. And that might be
Oh.
Rizzo. It's Tiny Tim. But yeah, Kermit, and you got Miss Piggy, and Christy is a huge frog fan, and so Kermit is one of the people that she just adores. And then new to Disney this year was this gingerbread replica of Epcot.
It's gingerbread.
It's gingerbread, and it's all gingerbread minus the lights. They rebuilt it. It is, I have the stats here. They have 11 hidden Mickeys in there. It took 100 eggs, 100 pounds of royal icing, and 240 pounds of dough to make this one sphere. And it does a big light show every 15 minutes. It took them 160 hours, and it was 900 gingerbread triangles that it took to make that sphere. Yeah.
Wow.
And then, of course, on our anniversary.
Yeah.
Right? And then on our anniversary.
Real quick, we should remind people, if you're listening in podcast mode, you can check this out on the Good Stuff Family with Dawn Kendrick on YouTube, and you can see all these pictures that Rich is talking about. But okay, yeah, go ahead, Rich.
Yeah. So then on our anniversary, we did the candlelight processional at Epcot, and it's all these choirs you see here, plus the Voices of Freedom, and it is a huge Christmas concert. It's a reading of the Christmas story, and the celebrity, you can't see him because he's covered by a microphone, but that's Gary Sinise.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
and so a big choir, huge orchestra, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Just totally get you in the spirit. And of course, it wouldn't be Disney magic if it didn't snow at the Magic Kingdom. So that snow you see flying around the big Christmas tree in the town square.
I
So
love that your family, this is such a pivotal or such an important part of you, how many times you've been back and stuff. And I love to hear
mhm.
that story of how you started out literally getting married, rolling with the punches. All right. So we have some
Mhm.
bare trees, potato, it's
Yeah,
no big deal, right? Whatever, trees. It's a detail,
trees.
it's a small detail. Um, and so the gratitude that you have with your kids and your family, I want to remind people, if you've been following the Good Stuff family, then you remember this story maybe from when I did it at WKYC, or even last year we revisited it. But there's a Santa out of our friend Santa out of Middlefield, Ohio. That's his summer home, of course. North Pole would be his winter home. But
Mhm.
he's doing great things above and beyond maybe what you even knew that Santa does. And so I'm going to roll this story here. And on the flip side, we're going to talk about all of these thousands of letters that they are personally responding to, letters to Santa, thousands of them. And we've got some pictures of some of them. And I show this to submit that we remind ourselves exactly what it is we're celebrating at Christmas time: family, friends, and you're gonna see how Santa doesn't forget the reason for the season as well. So I'm gonna share this screen here with you guys. Hang on one second. One moment, please. Here we go.
Merry Christmas!
The jolly old elf rolled in larger than life.
Everybody, Merry Christmas!
The real deal, from his beard to his boots.
Hi.
And it was at this very same place 36 years ago that a young boy named Joey, bald with a scar across his head, came straight from the hospital, crawled up on Santa's lap. But instead of asking for something like
Cool fidget spinner.
Joey chose a gift for his mom instead.
He said, Santa, you know I'm dying. Just make my mommy happy. And she wanted one last picture, one last Christmas.
With that, the minister of Mary was on a mission to get to as many terminally sick kids as he could.
Very quickly after that, we start seeing every child in the hospital. So now we see all the hospitals from Cincinnati to Pittsburgh.
And thousands even come to Santa at the North Pole, of course. Santa built Hideaway Hollow just for them, with an ice cream store, a general store, a tailor shop, even the real deal reindeer. But something was missing.
Everybody, I want to show you what is going to be the North Pole Chapel.
A chapel on the way, because Santa has seen so many kids and families find faith, sometimes for the first time, in the hardest time of their lives. 23-year-old Jordan spent his entire life dealing with one debilitating disability after another.
Jordan knew he was going to pass away. He knew he was going to die.
But Jordan saw his friend Santa as a sort of gateway to heaven.
He had to talk to Santa to know that it was okay. He was going to be okay when he passed away.
And because Jordan's heart, soul, and mind were more like a 10-year-old,
He was so much in love with Christmas.
He was determined he was going to live through Christmas, and he did. He had to see Santa, and he passed away January 4th.
My hardest trip was sitting down with Jordan, telling him that it was okay to die, that he would not be forgotten.
And they prayed together, that was very big for Jordan. Like I said, Jordan's faith was very strong.
they swear this sunbeam was shining squarely on Santa and his buddy.
And I told him to make way because someday I'm going to come visit him.
But first things first.
To me, this was always the ideal location for the chapel.
Scheduled to be completed next summer, the chapel will stand in the name of Jordan and all the others who have gone before. The walls lined with their pictures. A chapel for all denominations, for all faiths.
That'll be a good memory. That'll be nice to be able to bring Jordan's picture here and he can be part of this place.
Our mission is very simple. We're all about family.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Jordan and so many others live on here, kind of like the spirit of Christmas at Hideaway Hollow.
We're here to celebrate Christmas every day of the year.
Who knew that chance meeting 36 years ago with Joey was the genesis
Every day I put on my red suit, I just think of him.
of so many lives lifted before they were lost?
Nobody can understand the pain that they have. I carry a green bag with toys. I want to carry miracles. I can't, but miracles happen.
And recently, so that story, Rich, if you talk about see the good in others and be the good for them, this is classic what they're doing at Hideaway Hollow in Middlefield. Are you familiar with that story?
Yes, I remember when you ran it. Yeah, I think you ran it on one of the streams separately, but he's an amazing guy. We met him. I think he came into one of the shows one time.
Yeah,
Did he pop in?
they do great things all year long. And this time of year, of course, we always revisit. And he had the Mrs. Claus. We talked last night. Santa can't join us live because he has an appointment. But these are all these all of these cards that are coming in, the Dear Santa, and some of them are gut wrenching, but a lot of them, some of them send money, like trying to bribe him. He said, it's hilarious, right? One letter, this girl asked if Santa could make sure her dad was happy in heaven. You know, when it makes us all just come back to really what we're grateful for, really and truly. And so we wanted to give a shout out. She said they are going through over 2,000 of these letters and personally responding to them, Santa and Mrs. Claus. So I wanted to give them a huge shout out for being good stuff, God stuff people. That's what they are. Yeah.
100%. And speaking of good stuff, people, we have lots of people chiming in this morning to say good morning. We got Gina and we got Kellyanne and Mindy. Hello, Mindy. Mindy just had a birthday.
Yeah, she sure did. Nobody's getting any younger.
No. Time waits for none of us. But and then we got Tina and we have Jan as well. So good morning to all of you guys. And thanks for tuning in.
Oh, and Mrs. Claus says they have $27 from over the years. They've collected. Sorry, little text.
Oh, that's cute.
From over the years. I love it so much. So yeah, if you're listening, comment if you would you like some of the things that you're most grateful for this Christmas season, and maybe even a sentence or two about some of your favorite stories. But before we get to some of the Kendrick family Christmas stories that are legendary, I want to do a tribute to a friend of ours. Bill Greenblatt passed away this week here in St. Louis. And if you I'm going to pull up, here's a picture of him. He's this legendary photographer. He's a UPI photographer. And if you look up what they wrote about him in the obituary and all the articles, this is what they say: a fixture in St. Louis sports pages and a mainstay in United Press International's photo archives. He was 70 years old when he passed. He had worked for UPI since 1980 as a staffer and a freelance photographer, documenting sporting events and news with his lens. And he was a Hall of Famer. He was the first photographer in 2021 to be inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. But in 2017, he was also inducted into the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. So, and he was a friend to many, and he was well known beyond just the photography that he did. And for me, here's some of these. Look at these iconic shots, Rich. Aren't these cool?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a photographer, obviously, the Cardinals. He did a lot of with the St. Louis Fire Department here. This is a legendary shot here. And so he was a fixture, he really and truly was. But more than that, he was a good dude, and appropriate at Christmas time on this podcast that we could tell a story about him, that how he showed up for me when I lived in Cleveland. My friend Wally has this fantastic Santa Claus outfit. And I said, Wally, my niece and nephew were young. I go, can I borrow that thing? I toted that thing as a carry-on, this big, huge, massive, for this, Wally's a big dude, and it had the beard and everything in the boots. I carried it as a carry-on. Bill Greenblatt dressed up in that Santa outfit. And we surprised my niece and nephew who didn't know I was coming. So I thought maybe now would be a good time to show this. What a good guy. Hats that came from Aunt Dion. Sorry, not that one. One moment, please. Here we go.
That's my.
I was leaving presents and she surprised me. So she said to say hello to you guys.
Can I get in between you? If you mind? Your grandma. Where's the other grandma? Come on, you get in the middle.
Belle and Brady,
Can I get on your other
Christmas
side?
this year?
Can I get over here? Hey, now look happy. We are happy now. Oh, the dog wants to be in here too, I think.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh! Oh my
Go say hi!
Brady here? Hi there. You been good kids? Give me a hug.
happy. Couldn't have been any better, right? Oh my God. They wanted thank you, Santa.
You got everything? Okay.
You didn't have a cookie?
Oh, I will.
Okay.
Got a beer?
Why don't you get a beer? You want a beer? What do you like, Bud Light or IPA or what?
Santa's got a long ride ahead of him. Let's give it 20.
Hey, kids.
Hey, maybe you can show
Brady,
me.
look who that is.
Did you get good pics? Santa. Did you get good pictures? Show him that. Can I
Hey,
share?
kids, I got a message for you. Come here.
Come take a picture.
He didn't get a message. Listen to him.
Oh, wait, you take a picture with me?
Last night, too.
Okay, come
Hey,
on.
you
we'll
guys,
take a picture.
look at me, okay? Awesome.
So what kind of guy does that? Bill, by the way, is Jewish.
Love it.
Hold on, let me see this.
I was leaving presents and she surprised me. So she said to say
Talking about
hello
me.
to you guys.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That was sure
You
nice
guys
of
wanna
Auntie
see my
Don.
reindeer? My reindeer right out here. Come on. Look out, dog.
It's a Chevy Corsica.
Yeah. Come on.
There's the hot dogs.
So they didn't know that I had
Let's
come
go
in.
see.
Come on, guys.
Come on,
One of
guys.
my favorite Christmas memories.
Everybody's got to come right out here.
I don't have shoes on.
That's all right.
There's the reindeer.
My sister-in-law was holding the camera phone, so he never even saw me. But you hear that, and I think back. I'm just like, and he's gone. Bill Greenblatt, 70 years old this week. He passed. But there it is. It's the legacy, Rich, right? That we can leave to see the good and be the good. And sometimes it means just showing up as an impromptu Santa. And you heard the laughter. Yeah.
Mhm. And I just want to point out too, like your body changes as you get older. And so I just want to point out in that clip for any of the kids that may be watching, over the years, all those milk and cookies, he may have developed a little bit of intolerance to lactose. So beer and pizza is perfectly acceptable for Santa as well now. It changes it up.
Yes, I love that. So you're absolutely right. That's probably what it was. So here they are, Belle and Brady. So just such appreciation for Bill Greenblatt and condolences and prayers.
Yeah.
And just for the peace that surpasses all understanding for his family. But how cool to be able
What a
to
good soul.
Yes, and to be able to remember and look, so he even is inspiring us, even though he's past his last breath, in the way that he showed up in good stuff ways for the Kendrick family, for starters, and for who knows how many others, really cool. And so let me find, I'm sorry, I'm scrolling through these pictures here. Okay, so I wanted to also tell some of the Kendrick family stories. You told a little bit of yours at the beginning, but I've met so many new friends this year, Jan said. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, the things that we're grateful for. This was Mama Debbie and Mindy, we just did a family, like my family that's not family from Cleveland, that we say that's not blood. We did this little tour. Have you heard of it? It's called the Funny Bus. Have you heard of
Oh,
it?
yes. Yeah. I
Hilarious.
haven't been on one yet, but I've heard it. It's awesome. Sounds
And they
awesome.
take you through all through Cleveland so you can, like, I'm trying to find is this the bus picture? Yeah. So they give you all the tour of all the iconic landmarks and stuff. And it was a great time. And so Mindy had this idea, Mama wanted matching jammies. So there you go. We got that. These are the new memories, Christmas memories we've made. But Mindy had this idea, let's do this s'mores machine in the hotel room. Have you ever seen a plug-in thing? It was just a plug-in thing, so we're assuming it was that we weren't breaking any rules. But I submit this because seriously, look at us. That's like Mindy Lee Lou Who over there on the right, like Cindy Lee Lou Who, right? To stay young at heart, and again, that family isn't always blood. It's not always blood, but the Kendrick family stories are legendary because our dad, it was Clark Griswold-esque, if you will. He insisted on putting up these Christmas lights, and he only had like 2 more strands to go. It was dark already. The sleet was flying sideways. He's up on a ladder, and my mom said, "We're having dinner." He said, "I'll be in a minute." We hear this thud. The ladder crashed, fell, and his leg got like karate chopped between two rungs, his shin. So he had to have surgery and have like a plate put in there. And he told people he was saving kids from a burning building, is what his story was. Not that he was like stubborn and trying to get the last 2 up. But we had Christmas lights up for like 7 years after that. I don't think he ever took them down.
I wouldn't have either.
He got a pass. And he was legendary too for Chad is 5 years younger, my brother. And every year, we have Christmas Eve at our house. My mom always had Christmas Eve with all the family over. So every single year without fail, my dad would figure out he was out of batteries or he needed film. And we had to go to Walgreens with him, Chad and I. And inevitably, when we got back, Santa had been there and we just missed him. Darn the luck, right? So he would like honk the horn when we pull in. And I was onto it at this stage, but Chad was not. And so Chad had a plan this one year. He said, "Listen, I got an idea. When we get home, Dawn, you go to the back sliding door where we could always see him just off in the distance." My mom would say, "Oh, there he goes. You just missed him up in the sky over the Franklin's house. So you go get the back door at the sliding glass door. I'm going to go get the front door. And then Dad will get him from the garage if he comes out that way." So what does my dad do? Since Chad's going to be at the front door, he goes through and lays in the snow. And Chad runs out and he said, "What happened?" "Oh, he must have been in a hurry. He ran me right over." And there's my dad laying in the snow, like going to these great lengths, and I look back on that and I'm like, those are great memories. If you're listening, do you have them as well? Do you have them? Hold on to them, cherish them. And I'm so grateful for the relatives that I still have. My mom and dad are gone now, but when we showed Santa last year, I had my Uncle Gay. First of all, he has a good sense of humor because his name is
I love your Uncle Gay. Yeah.
Okay, remember? So we
do.
interviewed Santa. So I thought, now that you know Santa, if you just were introduced to him earlier in this podcast, I thought I would wrap this up with some of the reasons why I'm so grateful with the family that I still have. And here I am in St. Louis, closer to them, and so grateful. And maybe reach out, y'all, if you're listening, to family members. If you're not blessed enough to live in the same city, reach out. And this is why I'm so grateful for my Uncle Gay. He's such a good sport. Take a look. Hats that came from Aunt Dion in Kansas City. It's a whole family affair. Okay.
Beautiful.
All right. Now, so here's the thing. I want to show you something. Have you ever tried to call Santa, Uncle Gay?
Santa, I am Santa.
Oh, there you have it. Well, I beg to differ because he says, "Here's Santa." Here's what happens when I say, "Here's Santa." Siri, call Santa.
I can't, but
Here's
don't
Santa,
worry.
Santa.
I'll put in a good word.
Here, Santa, Santa. That's how you
Here,
call him.
Santa.
It says I can't, but don't worry, I'll put in a good word. That's what Siri. Let's just try one more time. Siri, call Santa.
Calling 555. Wait, I'm getting some electromagnetic interference from the North Pole.
Getting interference from the North Pole.
Yeah, clearly Siri cannot call Santa. I'm gonna try one more time. Siri, call Santa.
I can't, but don't worry, I'll put in a good word.
Oh, well, thank you, Siri. But guess what? Don't need to, because guess who we have as our guest today? Drum roll, please. Can you do the drum roll? Brrr. You.
Brrr.
A little longer.
Brrr.
Here we go. Oh, that's good enough. Santa! I know him like I really know him.
Santa.
Hi.
How much is he paying you?
Well, Merry
How much is he
Christmas.
paying you?
I love the banter between you two. I love the story. And I really am enthralled by the fact that you call yourself Santa. I have someone to take my place on weekends.
Do you love Uncle Gay? There is only one.
Oh, he's a character. I love that. I love that. I remember when you rolled that, and that's Gay was the Uncle Gay. You're the best.
He really is. He's the greatest joke teller ever. It's always in the delivery, and then inevitably he's laughing like before even he delivers the joke. Love him. And Aunt Carol, like she's in the wings there saying, you said you were bringing coffee over and you made us get on TV. So I'm going to just show this one more clip out as we begin to wrap this up. And Uncle Gay. And you know what? This explains it. You know that song, Don we now our gay apparel. Look at him.
Holy cow.
Look at him. Now it explains it. He's a sharp dresser. That's it. That's it. Our gay apparel. Uncle Gay, thank you for sitting in with me. You don't have to do it ever again, I promise. I owe you.
Yeah.
Till the next time I ask you.
Promises.
All right, let's take it out with the here. You should see that.
With
Here,
one-
I got yours.
With
Ready?
one joke, is that what you want?
No, we're gonna go out with Christmas. These are what our elf hats do. Oh, your battery's broken.
I
Sorry.
can hear it.
Get the battery. Aunt Carol, get a battery. That's a good way to bring it out.
Ho, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Love you. Uncle Gay. What a good sport he is.
I tell you have to make your joy in the moments, right? And it's hard for people sometimes, I think, especially this time of year. But take an opportunity when you see it. I have an almost Christmas story. When I was at Kent, I worked at the Daily Kent Stater at the newspaper, and I was a copy editor with two of my friends, Angie and Sarah. And we were freshmen and decided at the last minute to go to this house party for Halloween. So it was literally like the day of Halloween. So we rolled into Mr. Fun's to see if we can rent costumes, and the only costumes they had left was Santa and two elves. So I got the Santa costume, and here we are in our little Chevy Cavalier. I'm in the back seat, and the two elves are in the front seat. And this is our favorite story to tell. We still talk about this more than 20 years later. And we rolled up to a stoplight in Akron. And this little boy, and you can see Dad's frustrated in the front seat. And I look over, and he's looking at me. He does a double take, and then his mouth just drops, and his eyes get really big because you see Santa in the backseat of a Cavalier, and he's smacking his dad on the shoulder. And his dad's like, "Yeah, Santa." And he looks over, and like his eyes get big. The light changes. I wave, and we roll off to the party. So you have to find joys in the moment.
Yes, and soak it up, because again, if you take anything from this podcast today, life is it's fleeting, for lack of a better word. It's short, as we pay a tribute to Bill Greenblatt, and also just pledge to really soak up the friends and family who we have around us today for the blessing that they are. The blessing.
The blessing.
The blessing, or Christmas Vacation movie. We can never say it without saying the blessing. Who, real quick in the comments, we're wrapping up here, but who remembers the line in the comments when remember Clark says, we're going to have Aunt Bethany say grace this time.
Grace.
She
70
died.
years ago.
The uncle, what's his name? Uncle, what's his head? Oh no, I can never remember his name. The uncle. He's like,
Yes.
they want Uncle Lewis. Was it Lewis?
Uncle
I think
Lewis. Yep, it was Uncle
Final
Lewis.
answer.
Yep.
They want you to say the blessing. The blessing. So we're praying blessings over anyone within earshot of this podcast. And we're grateful. We're grateful for you. And we're grateful for the blessings still on their way. And thanks again, Rich, for popping in. For everyone else, Merry Christmas. And you know what we say? Super easy to do. See the good in others. Be the good for them. On your mark, get set.
Let's go.
Sometimes it's good to just dance.
You've been listening to Don Kendrick's The Good Stuff Family Podcast. If you found inspiration here, would you click subscribe, follow, share as we grow our Good Stuff family tree? Check out thegoodstufffamily.com for links to all our social media platforms and for how you or your business could sponsor a story. The Good Stuff Family, reaching and touching hearts around the world by weaving families together one story at a time. On your mark, get set, let's go.
Well, I got a suggestion. Sometimes it's good, so just come along